Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning. I understand, man.
Yeah.
6 hours, 40 minutes later, it's technically 17 and a half innings. And my God, if anybody got sleep last night, I'd be surprised.
No sleep. Plus, if you're a wrestling fan, I had to post Raw afterwards. And yeah, it is the second Monday of the week. We'll get into, well, you just said the long ass World Series Game 3 last night. Plus, there was a Monday Night Football, Monday Night Raw. We'll have our boy 24KG joining us at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. And then we're going to get into some Breeders' Cup with a guy that knows his business from FanDuel at 8:30. And if you call or text in anytime during the show at 661-842-2000.
Absolutely. If you have any questions, especially around the Breeder Cup, I would text them in for Jaime at the end. I'm sorry, Joaquin Jaime at the end of the show. He'll be with us at 8:30. Like we said, KG will be with us at 8. There was so much to talk about. And honestly, I don't think anybody even paid attention to the NFL, which is a first. And I'm not going to lie, first half of that game, I thought we were on upset watch. We went into halftime 7-7, and the Chiefs not looking like the Chiefs again. Fortunately for them, Andy Reid was able to put it together, and I think that this can really be chalked up to a game where they knew they were going to win, so they were really just trying to throw everything at the wall and see what was going to stick for later in the season, so they can just start marking stuff off now.
Or later in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
But
that got ugly real quick.
I mean, I was so excited too. For those of you who don't know, myself and Sparky, big fantasy football guys on the show. And I'm in this league with Spark where the point system is very weird.
Did you pull it off?
No.
Oh.
No, thanks to that touchdown by Rashee Rice.
That wasn't?
I lost. Yeah, that wasn't. I lost. And I'm like, oh, great. So now there's discrepancy in that area too. But again, it is what it is. It's fantasy football, and I have already chalked up at least 2 of the 4 leagues that I'm in to being absolute washes this year. I'm not even going to.
I know in our league that I run, you're only 2 games behind.
I know.
And there's like 8 weeks left.
Which is wild. I think we're
fine.
2-6.
Yeah, and I'm 4-4, and I'm sitting in the playoffs. I'm like, okay.
No, but at the end of the day, it was a fantastic game on all points here in the professional area. I mean, like I said, the Monday Night Football game turned out to be essentially what we thought it was going to be. The fantastic World Series game last night, like I said, 17 and a half innings, technically 18, but Freddie Freeman walking it off for the second time in a World Series game in 2 years. And it's also the second time the Dodgers have had to go to an 18 inning World Series game as they did in 2018, something like that, whenever they played the Boston Red Sox. This was not far-fetched. I mean, again, and I think the one group of guys that you really have to applaud the most, Dodgers relief pitching. I mean, everybody had the same discrepancies with the Dodgers. You go in, if you can get that starter off the mound within 4 or 5 innings, you can win because their relief pitching is just skeptical. But I'm not going to lie. Every single one of them, although Sheehan had a couple moments there where I think he got people's blood boiling a little bit. And obviously, Blake Trinan was the one who gave up the final run. But we're talking about 11 straight innings, 11 straight scoreless innings to the Toronto Blue Jays, who, again, I know a lot of people don't know much about the Toronto Blue Jays. This is probably the most you've had to watch a Toronto Blue Jays game in the past, 2 to 5 years. But this is one of the best teams in baseball. This is one of the best hitting teams in baseball. And for them to do that, go 11 straight innings, including Klein having to step up as the last guy for 4 of them, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. So I think this was a huge win for the Dodgers going into Game 4 tonight. Shohei Ohtani will take the mound. I know ESPN Bets has...
He's probably the only one with any energy left.
I mean, at this point, he's going to have... that's what I was just about to bring up. ESPN Bets has him essentially 6 innings. If you go over, it's 6 inning mark. I said, he's going to have to go all 9. Are you kidding? You have no arms left unless you want to throw Clayton out there again for half an inning.
For 3 batters.
I just, again, and they were even saying last night, it's like, that's probably the last time you have seen Clayton Kershaw pitch for the Dodgers. I was like, really? We're going to write him off for games 4, 5, 6, and 7, huh? He's not going to see the mound again at all. I was like, okay, let's calm down on that thought. But at the end of the day, again, 6-5 win for the Dodgers in fantastic fashion. At one point, I think after that Kirk home run for the Blue Jays, I thought for sure everybody was thinking, oh, Lord, here we go. Now we got a game. And again, when Bo Bichette gave them a lead again in the 7th inning, just for Shohei to turn around and hit a second home run. Can we start Barry Bondsing him, by the way? Can we just do what they did in that game at the end? Just walk him.
Finger up.
Just walk him. What are we even pitching to this guy for? He found it in the playoffs. Don't pitch to him. What's wrong with you? That's like playing pee-wee football and you're kicking a punt to the most athletic kid on the field. What's the first thing you tell him? Kick it out of bounds. Don't let him. No, we're not letting him field this. I don't care how good you think you are tackling. Not happening. It's the same thing with Shohei. Are you really going to pitch to this guy? Really? Heck no.
He makes it look so easy, too.
He really does.
I'm like,
it's
man.
effortless to him. And Teoscar, too, to be fair. Because Teoscar's home run, I mean, my God, this guy can belt one at any point in time.
He's got the prettiest swing, dude.
He really does.
I like his swing.
I was just telling my brother-in-law, too, while watching game 1 at his house. I was like, when you watch Shohei hit, I don't know why. And again, I don't mean this in any kind of connotation, but it really does kind of remind me of a samurai. Very just calm, collected. I'm being dead serious.
No, I can see
I'm dead serious. I'm not trying to make that a joker at all. It does remind me of that. It just very calm, collected. He never looks like he's worried. He never, even when the pitch goes right down the middle and he's, struck out for whatever time in the game, he's just like, oh, okay. And he walks back into the dugout. There's nothing that bothers this dude at all. And I knew, as soon as I said that, I was like, I knew this is going to come off wrong. I know it's going to come off wrong, but it's not what I mean by that at all. It's just, it's incredible to watch. But at this point, I think that the only way Toronto,
they got to win tonight.
They have to win tonight for sure. If you have any energy to even do that, good luck with that. But luckily on your side, the Dodgers are just as tired as you are right now.
But the worst, I think the most tired people are the people that went to that game, because I saw the 405 after the game last night, and they were probably there for another 3 hours.
Not to throw shade, but that's probably the longest any Dodger fan has been to Dodger Stadium, period.
They probably,
let's be honest, y'all show up in the 8th inning, and then you leave.
We got a full game if you did.
No, I mean, again, it really was, and again, 6 hours 40 minutes. That's a long game.
I fell asleep in the 15th
when both games started, because I mean the Monday Night Football and the World Series game started at the same time. I was sitting there thinking, okay, I mean, I could watch both of these, like you said, get Raw done afterwards, and I'll be ready for the show tomorrow. I'll get my Breeders' Cup stuff in. I'm sitting there at 10:30 last night still watching this game, and I said, oh my God, can I go to bed yet? Can one of you guys just launch a home run so we can end this game already? What happened to the Dodgers Stadium being the most home run hit or friendly stadium in baseball right now? Where did all of those go? And at this point, Freddie Freeman has to be going down as one of the most clutch hitters in baseball's history. I was saying it last night when I was still here with our program director, JR, watching the game. Every time that dude comes up to bat, every single time, just like Shohei, I'm expecting a double at the worst. This dude just has a weird way of finding the ball with that bat, especially when they need it the most. And for him to step up first batter in the 18th inning and launch one and say, let's go home. Said, finally, your kids have been in bed for the last 4 hours. It's like your wife is probably half asleep right now on the couch.
Breakfast and go to work.
Jeez, man. You're lucky we weren't in Canada.
It was a hell of a game, though.
Oh, it was so
much
hopefully
fun. we get another one tonight. Hopefully not 16, 18 innings, but I mean, it's what you want out of a World Series. And if I paid, $1,500 for some tickets, That's what I want.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I'm calling in sick tomorrow, but I'm I'm going, and I'm gonna be happy with this long of a game. But geez Louise. And do they still shut down? That's what somebody texted me last night. Do they still shut down the bar in the 8th inning?
Probably. Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. And honestly, at that point,
It's probably best.
probably the best idea. Yeah. Because you would have a ton of people
It'd be like
just,
Adrian Peterson asleep at the wheel.
and we were going to get to that some point today because the DWI case, and he's still arrested, which is, again, we haven't gotten to get to this because
Again
it's
and
been a
again.
weird case. And you want to talk about a legend in football that's been ruining his legacy since he left. I mean, everybody remembers the switch situation and oh God, but we'll get into that at some point during the day because there's so much to talk about today. And plus, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of dipped into this Welcome to Derry series
I watched
last
it.
night.
I watched it.
Oh,
It's good.
I am excited. As a horror fan, I am excited, but as just a fan of just really good television, I think this is going to be HBO's next great series. Let's take a break real quick. On the other side, we'll get to the Monday Night Football game, plus all of these side stories. Oh, and real quick as well, congratulations to Mookie Betts for winning the Roberto Clemente Award for his outstanding community work this year. That's awesome to see, especially when it's somebody that's as likable as Mookie. He is one of those guys that, like, even if he plays for the Dodgers, the Yankees, it really don't matter. You're going to love the guy just because he's an outstanding person. And it seems like he has one of the most genuine personalities on the planet. So congratulations to him and the winner of the Roberto Clemente, or all the finalists for the Roberto Clemente Awards as well. I love to see athletes give back to their communities. Let's take a break real quick. We'll get to football on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. Oh, I definitely need the morning blast today. Welcome back. This is the early bird special. As Sparky tries to wake all of us up after that incredible 18-inning performance last night between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Essentially, they might as well just given up game 4 as well.
Yeah, that one should count for 2.
That should count for 2. That absolutely should. Let's move over to the NFL, though, because we had a Monday Night Football game last night that nobody paid attention to. The Chiefs absolutely dominated the second half of this game against the Washington Commanders, and Dan Quinn extending this franchise-long win streak against the teams. Didn't know this until this morning, but apparently Kansas City has beaten Washington. They've only played each other 12 times in both teams' histories. They've won 11 of them. Didn't know that. They also have won the last 9 straight. Didn't know that either. This is kind of one of those one-sided just BTA moments. And you didn't know it was coming. You kind of knew it was coming. But at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, and company. Because at this point, Kareem Hunt is starting to make himself the number 1 running back again. Because what is going on with Isaiah Pacheco? I have no idea.
And that's cool because somebody dropped him in my fantasy league and I picked him up because I had a bye week and I was just gonna fit him in and scoring 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay,
I mean, again,
I'll take that.
Exactly. I wouldn't complain.
Thank you.
But
it was an ugly game, man.
It really was.
I had both games on, and right when they scored the 28th point, I was like, I'm changing this.
Well, and Travis Kelce at least was what did he tie the franchise record for touchdowns at 93?
Priest Holmes.
Yep. And will most likely break that here within the next game or 2, I would only imagine, because when these things come up, the players find a way to find you. They really, truly do. So I would expect that to be broken probably next game. But the main question continues to be the same one that we brought up yesterday, now with essentially a 3-team race in the AFC West. Which team is going to be the one to come out on top? Will it be the Broncos? Will it be the Chargers? Or will it be the Chiefs? And
I'm leaning on Kansas City. And with Surtain now injured and out for a couple weeks for Denver,
that is going to hurt them. Positive for Denver is they don't have to deal with the Chiefs until I believe it's November 16th is their first matchup, and then they play again on Christmas Day. So you'll at least get him back for Christmas Day, if not for that first game against the Chiefs. I still am going to ride with the Broncos. I love what I see from them. The grittiness, the 77 points and 5 quarters of football is incredible for any team. And I think we all forget who Sean Payton is. Sean Payton literally went down to New Orleans with a Drew Brees, created a whole new offense, and became an offensive juggernaut from the minute he got there to about a year before he left, because the last year was really ugly. But the year before he left, they were an offensive threat, got themselves to a Super Bowl. I mean, Sean is a fantastic coach. And what he's done with Bo Nix and this offense cannot be understated, man. It really can't. Because can you name a single superstar on this Denver offense? We talk about these offenses of the Chiefs and the Eagles and all these other teams who have star upon star upon star. Denver's got Bo Nix. Like, let's be honest.
That's exactly why I'm not taking them.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But I think that in that case, I think you have to give them the credit they deserve.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I'm going to ride with them. Now, I would like to say the Chargers have a shot in this. I really would. But until the health of the team turns around, I can't say that for sure. But in my personal opinion, I'm riding with the Broncos right now.
I think the Broncos will be hot. They'll probably make the playoffs as a wild card, but I'm still rolling with Andy Reid. He's done it for so long, fair. And it's just hard to okay, well, you're definitely putting a team together. But as long as Andy Reid and Mahomes and everybody's starting to light it up, I have to go with somebody that's proven to do it over and over and over in the AFC. So I'm just going to roll with Kansas City. I love Sean Payton. I wish he was a Dolphins coach like he was supposed to be. But if it was in any other division, I think they would run away with it. But I just got to roll with them.
If Sean did take that job, you think Tua would be the quarterback right now?
No,
I don't think so either.
No,
I think he drafts Bo Nix, and that we have this entire.
We would have got Herbert in the beginning.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Remember, they took Tua over Herbert. But
again,
I'm not heartbroken at all.
There's no
We were supposed
salt
to
in the
have Drew
wound.
Brees,
No.
and man, we've like
Oh
we're 0 and
man.
8, I believe, because we were supposed to have Drew Brees. We're supposed to have this and that, but hey, that's
I
what
mean, again,
happens. It's football.
Yeah, you could always look back and say we could have had that guy, we could have had this guy, but at the same time, like,
And at the end of the day, we've had Hall of Fame quarterbacks,
mm,
and look what they've done with them.
well, and again, it's more of, I think this league really is starting to boil down to where you get drafted and how they can develop you. So there's no saying if Justin Herbert would have been that good
Exactly.
with Miami.
And it's the same thing as like what we're dealing with Minnesota. Now with
Right.
Wentz is out, now they're kind of forced into a corner to see, okay, JJ, it's your time to
Yep.
shine, and
Pressure
I
makes
personally,
diamonds.
and we've said it for months, I don't think JJ is the perfect fit in Minnesota.
No.
He's a game manager, and they need a slinger.
Again, I
just
would
feel
like
bad for
to
guys like JJ.
I do too, but I would like to say he can turn it around. I think he's young enough where he can kind of adapt his game to fit the scheme a little bit better. And maybe maybe it just starts with trusting the head coach a little bit more. Maybe you move to more of what Tua does instead of throwing at people, throw into specific areas, because he's got the arm strength to do it. It's not the ability of JJ, although God only knows how he looks after these injuries, but it's more of just, one, you need the confidence to do it. Two, you need the reps to know where to throw it. And three, it's all about timing. And I just don't know if any of those things are in the Vikings' favor right now, especially in the JJ McCarthy area. But again, there's a fantastic quarterback that you guys used to love in Atlanta right now that desperately needs a new home. He is an injured birdie. He is. He needs to fly from the nest. Please take him. Take him now. God, I'll take anybody. I'll take JJ. Trade us JJ, please.
I personally don't think
I'll take JJ.
anyone's gonna bite on that one.
I need somebody to bite on it, please.
We'll find out
Please.
sometime before Tuesday.
Absolutely. Real quick too, before we hit to a break, I wanted to bounce this off of you because we've talked about it on this show multiple times, and the NFL loves their international games, but now they're talking about stretching it to 9 games in 2026. We've already heard from the commissioner that we will be playing in Melbourne, Australia, starting next year, as well as a return to Mexico City as well. But they want to add another one. We've talked about it so many times. I love the fact that football is spreading to other countries. I really do. I love that they're trying to get the game out there and get people to love it a little bit more. But am I the only one that thinks that we have enough international games already as it is? Like, throwing another one out there to what? We get another game in Germany, maybe Brazil again. Like,
Miami plays in Spain in a couple weeks.
Spain would be another one probably thrown out there. I mean, again, I want to know where this game is first, but is 9 games getting too much? Are we really going to do one international game probably every week in the NFL? Is that what we're headed towards?
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know, maybe that's the better way to go about it, though, instead of actually throwing a whole team out there. You know what I mean?
I think it's just a perfect
Being
setup.
devil's advocate here.
They're going to play it every week sooner or later, and then the next year it'll be your whatever, the Mexico City Banderos or whatever they're calling,
or the London Monarchs or whatever you want to call them.
The Banditos.
I always put a team out in Dublin, to be honest with you. But no, like, thinking about this from the opposite side of the coin. Okay, trying to be fair on both ends here. Maybe this is the right way to go about it instead of going with a whole team, because we've talked about it, putting a whole team out in London and having them travel so much and the jet lag and all that type of stuff. WWE superstars could tell you it's not easy to do this type of thing. It really isn't. The time zone changes and the ridiculous, the travel time is stupid too. So I don't think having a whole team out in London or Dublin or Spain or whatever is the right move, but maybe we do just stretch it out to 1 game a week. Everybody has 1 game internationally a year, and then that's kind of the international game of football. Because I don't know, I've never been a believer that a full team in London would work. I really don't think that's ever going to happen, nor is it ever going to work, because there's just too many issues in terms of travel and all of that. But
it's coming.
I know it's coming, but I just maybe doing this is the better route anyway. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? 661-842-2000. Do we have too many of these international games already in the NFL? And if you think we need to expand more, what other cities would you like to see us go to? Because I mean, honestly, we've hit a lot of the big ones. The NFL has hit plenty of them. So I don't know exactly where else we can expand to that really desperately wants to watch us play football or has a field capable of actually playing football on. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I could see it both sides here, but I would rather see more international games than an actual international team. That's just me. I don't know. Let's take a break real quick. On the other side, we got plenty more to talk about, including this Adrian Peterson situation. Busted for a DWI the other day. As Sparky said, sleep behind the wheel. Uh, some of these legends just baffle me sometimes on how much they can just crash and burn after their careers, especially with how great they were during. It's incredible. And then the Bengals. I talked about it yesterday. Historically bad defense out there in Cincinnati. And they got together in a players only meeting, apparently, and said, enough is enough. We'll give you the details on that as well. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. We're also streaming video live every single day when we do the show from 7 to 9 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as TikTok and Instagram as well. Follow, subscribe, all that type of good stuff. We have a reason, apparently, for the 18-inning Dodger game last night. I was just sent this. Brad Paisley sung the national anthem before Game 2 of 2017's World Series. That game went 11 innings. Game 3 in 2018, the game aforementioned by the Dodgers and Red Sox that went 18. Game 1 in 2022, which went 11 innings. And last night. So the universal thing here is Brad Paisley's no longer allowed to do the national anthem at any baseball game ever. Because God forbid we get another 18-inning matchup between these two teams. Please never allow this man, not to say he's not a fantastic singer, because he genuinely is.
Yeah.
But again,
What?
It's Brad Paisley. Calm down.
What the hell are you talking about?
Again, I have no issue with the singing. But yeah, let's stay away from it just because I don't need another 18-inning World Series matchup, please. Good God. But let's get to this Adrian Peterson story, because this DWI thing is starting to look a little worse than we thought, because he's still in jail, or at least he was yesterday, is when the news came out. What have you seen about this, Spark? I know he just got pulled over this past weekend for it, correct? And just
he was asleep while the car was running. That's all I saw. And they posted the video of him just forgot to turn off the car. I don't know, but this guy's got, I mean, his criminal record is just stacking. This is the second time this year with a DWI, with a weapon. I mean, he's got 4 or 5 arrests just in the last, since he's retired. I mean, I believe the year before he retired, he was also arrested, suspended for a year. I mean, this guy's record is starting to stack up.
It's sad to see, man. I mean,
was it April and then again in October with the same charge?
And then did the switch thing happen during his career? Or was that after as well? Do you remember
the switch?
You don't remember when he took the switch off the tree and beat his kid and everybody came?
Yeah, that was the one he got suspended for a year.
Was that what it was? Okay, I thought.
And then wasn't it just a couple months ago, which he wasn't arrested, but he was beating up his buddy at.
Yeah. That's right, at the poker game, and then they find out that the two of them are friends, and that's the other thing.
And then they're trying to line up a MMA fight for him, and I'm like, dude, don't feed this guy. But this is the 3rd time he's been in the news since April for something like this, so it's just getting out of control.
I don't know if this is a cry for help though, or if this is just who he's always been. This is why I need to hear from some of his former teammates who will never come out and talk, because there's a brotherhood to this, and nobody really throws each other under the bus like that unless they really, really didn't like you.
Unless they want to get
or
swatted.
That's true too. But I mean, again, it breaks my heart to see some of the legends of football have this kind of thing happen at the end of their career. Because again, we talk about Adrian Peterson as one of the greatest running backs to ever play, especially for the Vikings. And when he was playing, he was electric. So it sucks to see that these things happen entirely too often. But I think this is a cry for help. This has to be. I mean, because outside of the switch situation, was there a whole ton in his career that you could really look back on as negative outside of the field? Not necessarily. It all really started stacking up afterwards.
It just shows that they're human.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, again, far be it, we don't know these people. Maybe this is a cry for help because he misses football or misses some sort of outlet to get frustrations out. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I hope he gets the help he needs. And I hope this DWI case doesn't throw him in prison for however amount of time he would need to. I wouldn't think so.
It definitely needs some help.
He definitely needs the help.
I would say the same thing. It's just the separation of an athlete and a human being. And it's just a sad thing. I mean, I was a big Chris Benoit fan growing up, and then I didn't know anything what was going on outside of the wrestling ring. It's just crazy. And I hope this guy, like you said, gets the help he needs, because it is going down quickly.
Yeah. And again, the NFL will most likely just brush this under the rug because, again, it's the NFL and they don't need any kind of stains on their shield. But people are going to use this as an outlet too. Anytime the NFL has an issue, it's always highlighted in the media. So we will hear about this probably until an actual sentencing comes down. But I don't think he's actually going to see any time for this. Thank God he didn't get into an accident or anything worse with this situation. But it's just happening entirely too often, not just with him, but with players around the league still to this day that are in the league. I mean, we talk about Rasheed Rice.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's another thing that brought up because it was a big deal all over social media last night because this is the second time Monday Night Football
mm,
has brought up a player and his criminal background
mm.
on the screen like it's a highlight, and I'm like, well, I mean, which side do you stand on? Is it should we watch Monday Night Football for the sport, or should they throw in their personal stuff like that?
Oh, that's such a hard question because personally, I think everybody is allowed to have a life outside of their job and have that be private. So
You would think, right?
you would think, I think athletes and celebrities obviously have a different set of rules that they live by. But yeah, I could see why it would be an issue why like they don't want that shown on television
There
because
was
again, you're just highlighting the issues within the league and the issues with all of these players and
It's
everybody
not helping
already
anything.
no, and everybody already sees them as gangsters or hooligans. So yeah, I don't think it's a good thing that they're putting it up on television. But again, you can't ignore it. I mean, we can't just sit there because that's the one thing that bugged me about the Rasheed Rice thing is that this guy comes back 2 weeks ago and everybody is talking like
Just
he
forgot
came
about it.
back from a career-ending injury and we should all feel bad for this guy. No, he did something illegal. Like he was suspended for bad reasons. We shouldn't be celebrating him at all or highlighting it for that matter, to be fair. But like, can we really ignore it? Because if you're just going to ignore it, I mean, situations like Ray Rice would have probably gotten ignored. And then he would have continued playing afterwards.
So the real question is, should he even be playing?
Yeah, that is a massive question. Because again, although I wasn't at the situation, nor have I seen video. I would like to see video if there is any. But if he really did stop, see the accident, and then leave, yeah, you don't need to be playing. But if he was just being a hooligan driving 95 miles an hour and his crazy driving caused a major accident in which he's already 20 yards down the field or 20 yards down the road and doesn't see anybody, then it's an honest mistake because you're not paying attention to the world around you. Although it's still stupid, I don't think you should lose your entire career over that. So
And I would
again,
go right
it's
back to the Adrian Peterson. I think the kid needs jail time. I think he needs to, and he should be on probation. I would think from the original one in April.
yeah,
So if he's not, I mean, he was getting arrested for the same exact charge with DWI, whether he was asleep or not. Turn off the damn car.
that's the
Go in
other
the back
thing. It's
seat.
like, dude, yeah, I don't like I've slept in my car multiple times.
Yes,
I don't understand why your car is on and you're in the front seat. That doesn't make any sense at all.
and especially if you've got charges already for the
I
same
just
thing.
again, eh,
But I think the best thing for him is to probably get some jail time, serve
yeah,
some big boy time, and
or
maybe learn from the mistakes.
at least rehab time,
Yes,
like forced
exactly.
rehab or something of that nature. But again, it's just another reason for people to complain about the players inside the NFL and some of these guys who should or should not be playing. And it sucks to see because it's such they're all fantastic athletes in their own right, but I don't know. I do kind of believe that these guys do deserve at least some sort of privacy in their own private lives off of the field, as long as you're not causing any issues to people. But
I
when
just saw the
situations,
outrage this morning from Chiefs fans and some people in the building. They were like, "Dude, we're here to play football. Why are you bringing up the past on his highlights?" I'm like, "Well,
I mean, as a
mm,
Falcons fan, I lived with dang near every single media outlet for 3 years straight talk about Michael Vick and the dogfighting. Like, I don't remember graphics ever being brought up, but I'm sure there were.
oh yeah." And if anybody brings up Michael Vick, that's the first thing they think of.
Exactly.
Not the great career he had in the, shaking it off and getting through rehab and going through the prison time and coming back.
And for the Eagles and
Yeah,
playing amazingly afterwards. Yeah. No, that's absolutely fair. And again, that's what I'm saying is that if these guys, are supposed to get that access of privacy, I don't know. But at the same time, it's just more and more highlights for bad things to be brought up for these athletes, which is the worst part about it.
And what's positive, which I'll throw in before we take a break, is my Bulls are 3-0.
Yep.
And we had 8 guys scored in double digits
I
last
saw
night.
that. And we were talking about the Hornets doing it. I mean, you guys are looking fantastic. Basketball is just getting started, so I'm not really taking everything to heart as of just yet. But once we start getting going here in the next 2-3 weeks, especially with snacks coming in every single week, trust me, you're going to be hearing more and more basketball talk on this show because we love basketball on this show. And to be honest with you, there's plenty to talk about right now. I mean, I had a story about John Morant we could talk about later. I mean, he came out and said he doesn't want to be the next face of the league. I don't think they want you to be the next face of the league anymore. We're talking about athletes getting in trouble and being stupid outside of their game. I think you're one of the front runners there, big dog. In fact, let's take a break. We'll talk about that on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. This is the early bird special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 12:30 AM. Just got done talking about the NFL and all of their discrepancies with their players. Just to move over to the NBA and talk about one of their biggest knuckleheads. That'd be John Morant coming out and saying he doesn't want the title of the face of the league. Never did. He plays the game for the love of the game and has no intention of jumping on this entire story or bandwagon of him being the next face of the league. He's never wanted that title. I mean, I don't think they were going to give it to you anymore after the gun thing and the other gun thing and your antics with your friends. And yeah, I think David Stern did a lot of work in the 90s and 2000s to kind of get rid of that entire idea or picture in people's minds that the NBA player was just another hoodlum that was taken off the street, given $1 million to go play basketball in front of people in New York.
Now they're just gambling hoodlums.
Yeah, no kidding. And with Adam Silver now dealing with that exact case and having to deal with this whole gambling situation, and Rob Manfred even taking it upon himself and saying the MLB is going to do everything possible to make sure we don't have this issue. Rob, no one asked you.
Stay in your lane.
Just look, man, you got your own homie over here from Cleveland that's been betting his butt off. He may never actually see another mound again. Yeah, Shohei being another one. You may not even see that one ever come to light until after he actually. I was saying this the other day to I can't remember who it was. Do you think we would all actually just accept it if he came out like Michael and just said, you know what? I love gambling. I love doing it. I love betting on teams that aren't my own. I love going into the Dodger Stadium and playing games with everybody who works there, trying to see who could flip a coin closest to the wall and not hit it. Like, would we all just accept it at this point? Will we all just come out and say, yeah, that's just Shohei?
Yeah,
that's just Shohei.
Wait for the documentary.
We love that. I'm just like, because I don't know. Again, that's all besides the point. Back to the NBA and John Morant and this entire idea of him not wanting to be the face. I get it. Being the face of any kind of sports organization isn't for the faint of heart at all. And it's honestly not for everybody. Not to say Ja probably couldn't do it if he actually put his mind to it. But again, I don't think the NBA wants you to be the face anymore. I think the NBA is starting to realize and starting to just lean into the fact that we're European. We have what every other sports organization wishes they did, which is a vast European player base outside of baseball. And to be honest with you, with the top, 10 guys in the league, 8 of them are European. Would that be a fair number?
Probably.
I would say. The top 5 for sure are.
Yeah.
Because Shea, Wemby, Giannis, Luka, Joker. I don't need a name anymore. All the top 5 guys in the league, really. Especially Wemby. My God. Only missing 1 shot the other day. How? What are we supposed to do?
Where he had 2 blocks and then hit a 3 from almost half court.
What are we supposed to do? What are they supposed to do to guard this dude? Like, it's just like Shohei. It really is. We're talking about genetic freaks and unicorns. What is any center supposed to do against a guy that's 7'7", can knock down a 3-pointer from half court and block literally every shot that comes his way? What are you supposed to do against that? That is a cheat code. That is a literal cheat code in basketball sense.
It looks like a created player.
He really does.
If you ever created players on your old basketball or football games.
2K is notorious for that, but I remember back, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was like 2K14 or something like that, just for fun. I never do this. I never am the person that chooses to be like the 7'4" lanky guy that clearly I am not. Personally, I usually map my guy around my usual height and build and then just play off of that because I just, for some reason, like that better. But I decided to try that out and give it a shot, and 100% Wemby looks exactly like the player I created. The play style, the way he shoot, like everything. It's the weirdest thing on the planet. But we're talking about genetic freaks. The guy only missed 1 shot the other day. I don't know what you do to actually stop that. I really don't. He is going to be the next face of the NBA. There is no question in my mind.
As long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, and I mean, we
I think
talked about it with Snacks yesterday with all these players dropping. Got another one with Anthony Edwards out for a couple weeks. You know, we've already been dealing with Luca and LeBron, both out for, you know, Reeves stepping up. I think he put up another 40-something last night in a loss. But, I mean, these injuries are starting to stack up. Luckily, there's, like Snacks said, there's 82 games in the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, instead of players
In-
sitting out, they're just hurt for a couple weeks.
in a way, isn't that kind of a good thing? Like, especially with the injuries, I get everybody's worry about the injuries stacking up, and obviously you don't want to see your top players on the bench. You want to see them out on the court. But with an 82 game season, it's like you just said, they can afford to get hurt for a week. Because, like, think of it this way: if we go down to a 60 game season, 62 game season, whatever the heck you want to do, and Anthony Edwards goes out there, pulls his hamstring, he's out for 2 to 3 weeks. If we don't change the scheduling of that, like how you actually span out the games, he's going to miss what? Almost a fifth of the season,
At least.
a sixth of the season. That's too much. So realistically, I get everyone's gripes about how many games they play in basketball, and maybe it is too much.
And a couple
But
years ago, the gripe was players taking nights off.
exactly.
And now it seems like they found a different way to do it because now they're just, oh, I'm going to be out for a couple weeks. And I mean, it hurts for basketball fans and really for Peacock. But I
Yeah,
mean,
really.
obviously, these players know what they're doing. And I think when it comes down to it in the second half after the All-Star game is when you're going to start seeing the more competition, just like last season.
Oh,
You
100%.
know, we saw 100% once the playoffs started or a week or two before the playoffs. But I'm still, I mean, once baseball ends here in a week or so, you know, this is where basketball is going to shine on these off nights for the NFL.
Oh, 100%. And again, I have always been a proponent of I'm cool with 82 games in basketball. I have never had an issue with it. But I do kind of see your guys' point that the injuries have been mounting up the last couple of years, specifically, especially in the star players. I just don't know if lowering the amount of games is really going to stop anybody from one, taking games off, because that's just going to happen regardless. And two, like you just said, if it is the entire idea of, well, I'm hurt, I'm going to have to take a week off. I don't think you're going to stop that either by lowering the amount of games. All you're doing is ruining your team's chances to turn your season around, really.
And messing with the stats.
You really are. So, but that's just my thoughts. We got to take a break. On the other side, we'll be talking to our guy 24KG about all things wrestling in the WWE. A fantastic Raw last night from Anaheim, California. Plus, they have Saturday night's main event coming up this weekend. So we'll talk about all of that and get you ready for their main event. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m., as well as streaming video online on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll be right back. And welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special, Hour 2 on this Tuesday, and it's always a wrestle time on Tuesdays. Especially when we get our guy 24KG in here, talk all things wrestling in the WWE ahead of Saturday night's main event this weekend. Sir, how are you? All things well?
Yes, sir. I am ready for another bore fest between Jey Uso and CM Punk. I'm ready for the machine to tell us what we want instead of us finding out what we want. And I'm ready for more internet complaints about Triple H's booking. How are you guys doing this Tuesday morning?
I am well, sir. I mean, again, I disagree. I don't think it's going to be a bore fest. I wouldn't go that far with it.
Okay, okay.
Jey Uso
Oversaturated Yeet
definitely.
Fest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's
Choice
for
of
sure.
words. My
Because
bad. Choice of
that's
words.
my biggest issue with it, right? Was yesterday
Freudian
we got
slip.
10 minutes of yeeting before the show even started, and that's not me being, exaggerating at all. That's a literal. It was 10 minutes of yeeting in Anaheim. That's why I challenge your guys' thoughts on this whole yeet fatigue thing. I don't think it's legit. I think everybody's raring and ready to go for this.
You're one of the few, and God bless your soul and the love that you naturally have. That's how I know, Chris, you are instinctually a great person, and
I try.
you're giving people the benefit of the doubt. But let's just call a spade a spade. I don't want to watch the first 10 minutes of Monday Night Raw, who's been putting on greater shows lately. They've been putting on a better product, and be right in the middle of a yeet fest. 10 minutes straight. Okay, look, I'm just gonna say what it is. Hey, I love the Usos. I love Jimmy, Jay, Roman, everybody in that whole family tree thing. Whatever, pun intended when I said that to include everybody. But come on, y'all. I mean, I get it. Most wrestling shows start with a promo to set you up for this, for that. And hey, one thing that I am glad about, just to skip to the meat and potatoes, forget everything else in between, forget the sides. We're guaranteed a new champion, at
Yeah.
least. We're guaranteed. And then when it comes down to storylines and how you want to implement those, cool. Who really needs to be champion? Who really needs to be world champion more so, Jay or CM Punk? That's up for debate. That's where analytics, that's where the writer's room, that's where who's coming in to where and what. But I have a feeling that we're about to see not just the world title, we're about to see a couple titles hot potatoed over the next few months in order to continue to generate interest, revenue, and keep ESPN satisfied with their current partnership with WWE, which we've seen so many reports. We don't know if they're valid, invalid. ESPN did come out with a statement about everything's fine. We're not losing money, which would kind of prompt me to say either they are or they're saying this to hush the rumors to keep the wolves at the door, so to speak.
Right.
But nonetheless, hey, at least we're getting a new world champion. Sparky, how you feeling about that?
I'm pretty bored of it. Pretty bored of it. I've said it for over a year. I'm not a big CM Punk fan,
Mhm.
and they can try and give it to him for a half a second again. And I would rather, if they're gonna give it to either one, I'd rather see Yeet take it and then go up against his brother, because I've been waiting on that, and I would like to see Jimmy take it just because the yeet fatigue. And I think it's one of those things, going back to the yeet fatigue. I think it's more of the things, if you're in person, you just want to be around the whole yeet thing. But if you're watching it on TV, that's when the yeet fatigue kicks in. I can get both sides of it. I mean, being one that was at, a live event, and it is electric to be in the same room with it. But when you're watching it on TV, luckily I'm watching it late so I can fast forward through it, and I'm seeing, okay, well, that was a fourth of the show tonight, and go into the rest of the things. But I still think that there's going to be a change up, a curveball. I don't know what rumor to believe. I've heard as early as this week of, Jericho coming back, and I've seen other things, but I think you were right about the hot potato thing. And I also think that in Triple H fashion, I think we're going to see some more faces that we're not expecting.
Most
I
definitely.
What do you make of these vignette videos that they've been releasing for the past week? There's now 5 of them. The last one being a pair of hands now that I'm pretty sure were Paul Heyman's. I'm
I
90.
think we're getting a setup to War Games. At first, initially, I thought maybe this was an introduction to a new faction or just roster members, maybe Tony D'Angelo. I was hoping him and Carlos Escobar might link up and create some kind of like mob union, or WWE likes to make fun of things that are happening in real life. Maybe these guys are the mob that influence matches, and we see people throwing matches, gambling on matches, kind of via the drama going on in the NBA and maybe the potential NFL investigation.
I didn't even
But
think about that.
that would be, great television. It would be compelling. Vince always drew from real life and injected it into the show, no matter how corny, cheesy, or offensive it was.
I don't
It's
think
what
ESPN was like that.
well, hey, I bet they
Yes.
would like $1 billion off of the
Yes,
viewership.
sir.
And if they want that, they're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
allow
But
somebody to cook.
And they can't complain either, because they said in their reviews of these first couple PLEs that, they signed WWE to be WWE. So you can't complain when WWE does a very WWE thing. And
Yeah.
like Kenny G
Pokes the
said,
bear, basically.
exactly. I mean, I didn't even consider that, but that could be a storyline that comes up here pretty soon, because I know Santos is just recently re-signed and will be joining the roster again at some point, because that was one of the ones that was rumored to be in these videos, because, well, from what I gather is people want it to be a secondary Legado del Fantasma, most likely bringing back the original group, which is Santos, Joaquin Wild, and Cruz del Toro in the LWO, which everybody kind of believes that. But I'm believing, especially after seeing the cowboy boots and the jeans and stuff, I think this is Brock. I think this is them going to Brock.
Definitely.
And saying, we got an idea for you, which may very well be the setup to the War Games match.
I wouldn't put anything past WWE Creative right now, especially with the rumors of how desperate they are to attempt to retain viewership. I don't know what we're going to see in War Games, seeing as how everything is a jumbled mess right now, but I'm not going to complain about how it folds out. I'm just going to have an opinion about it on Tuesdays on this show, but I'm not going to complain. You know what I mean? Come on.
But I mean, again, I don't think it's really gotten that bad. I said it after the Crown Jewel PLE. I genuinely believe just Crown Jewel, when you have to full stop all of your stories like that and just derail everything you work towards from the last couple months, and now we're on the other side of it. We're starting to see again all of these incredible matches go back to back to back. And I'm not complaining whatsoever. I think the last couple weeks of wrestling have been fantastic. We're right back to where we liked it a couple weeks ago, before we had to do a full stop for all of these Crown Jewel championships.
I totally agree with you, Chris. And in the future, I hope they consider, with Crown Jewel being a regular thing now, which we've had for a while, to kind of consider how can we incorporate this arc into our future storylines and television programming that makes enough sense for the regular viewer to keep up with, and then the non-regular viewer to be introduced to and still find some fluidity in the product.
I said it this way: why not make Crown Jewel the second WrestleMania? So we'll have WrestleMania 1 month, or at one point during the year, and then 6 months later you do Crown Jewel. You have two. You've already talked about it, that you want to make two major PLEs. Crown Jewel is the one that appeases to your, second half of your company, to be fair. And you can continue to do these Crown Jewel championships with the rings and stuff like that. It makes it seem like a Super Bowl-esque situation. And you can just go back to the tournament that you did the first year you did this, and bring in some sort of actual, story and depth behind the whole thing.
Which I think would totally work. I honestly believe that, because SummerSlam, I believe, or Survivor Series is usually our halfway point to Wrestle. They always say the biggest event of the summer on the road to WrestleMania. It would kind of take the place of that.
Exactly.
I totally understand that. But one thing I want to throw in there to that notion is we already have a 2-night WrestleMania. If that's the case, then we're going to end up having a 2-night Crown Jewel.
Why not? Riyadh pays enough money. Why not?
I'm not. See, that's another aspect. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but also there's a possible issue. I'm not saying of PLE fatigue or getting tired of PLEs, but with this deal that they have currently with the ESPN app and the non-interest or just people not being happy with the overall product and pricing, can you really say that's a definite thing that could happen? It's a possibility, but do you really feel like it's a definite thing?
I think it would make it easier for people to digest, because if you break it up like that and you maybe make SummerSlam and, let's say, Royal Rumble the in betweens of both of them. So let's say you break it down in a calendar. Okay. We do, just for purposes, I know it's not actually in January, but we'll say Crown Jewels in January, right after New Year's, and that'd put WrestleMania right smack dab in the middle of summer. So you put SummerSlam in between those two. On the opposite end of WrestleMania, you put Royal Rumble. And then in between Royal Rumble and all the other ones, you put even smaller ones if you wanted to, every couple weeks. Every 2-3 weeks, you keep the same schedule in PLEs, and each one of them still get used. Your Bad Blood, your Survivor Series, your War Games, whatever you want to use. So you still have all of these in between to keep people entertained while still focusing on the big picture, which would be either winning the Crown Jewel champion at one point of the year or wrestling in WrestleMania.
Well, as long as they have some kind of structure and consistent focus on the storylines while introducing or moving around these PLEs, I think would benefit the product, because now we've seen lately that these stop and start programs with certain superstars, it really sucks. You know, some things are left out in the open, some things come back around and get wrapped up, and some things we never hear about again. Getting a handle on that right now, I think, really is the writers' room's focus, especially when it comes to Crown Jewel or blah 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 being thrown in there, or having to pivot off an injury or a storyline, something happens to somebody, contract negotiations. Bringing these things into the fold storyline wise would make more interesting television and compel people to lock in for those PLEs, especially when they're going to randomly just, you know, throw a storyline at us that we have no idea why or what's going on about it, but we're going to watch the match anyway. So, yeah,
No,
no.
you just said it. The word consistency.
Yeah.
I think that is the key word. And, you know, I think they'll get to it. I just think it's been a crazy year for the WWE, and I think a lot of it was shuffled because of injuries. We just look at it. I mean, we have a long list of injuries and releases. I mean, we had a text yesterday that I wish I would have saved for today when you were on, but one was saying, you know, what they're doing with Aleister Black. You know, that was pretty much
Oh
took
yeah.
over what Karrion Kross was doing.
Oh
And,
man.
you know, it
So
would have been a
offensive.
perfect matchup for him.
Do you think that's why they let him go and they were so okay with it, because they felt, well, we have two people right here that could probably do the same thing?
Let me put it like this to you guys. When we were children, we were in the car and we wanted something. Usually one of our parents would say, "We have that
Blank.
at home." All right. Oh, well, McDonald's. Well, I want a Happy Meal. Hey, we got McDonald's at home. That's how WWE felt about Aleister Black and Zelina Vega when it came to Karrion Kross and Scarlett. We want Karrion Kross. We want Scarlett. Hey, you fans, we got your Karrion Kross and Scarlett at home with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Personally, I know WWE can be very petty, even though it's a different regime. Still talking about Vince's son-in-law. We're still talking about Bruce Pritchard. We're still talking about Michael P.S. Hayes, with the seniority-ship of knowing how things used to be and
right
can
now.
still possibly be with how people are treated once they're dismissed. And I honestly feel like, with the honesty that Karrion Kross has been showing outside of WWE, with and like I say, this could all be one big work. It'd be the biggest work ever, and it would be genius. It would be cerebral. It would be putting Triple H just, hey, you see what I can do with people outside. It would put him on another level. But this might not be the case, all right? And this might just be, we're going to kick dirt in your eye and show you that we can take what you wanted to do with somebody else, which they're essentially the same guy. It's essentially the same character, just a little bit more macabre with Aleister Black. Just
You can say the same thing as Damian Priest, too.
Yeah, there we go. We've got too many dark, broody, super aggressive, martial art infused guys that really can attract the crowd as tweeners, heels, or faces. You know what I think? You should have threw them together. You should have had The Undertaker be their Paul Heyman, and we reintroduced the Ministry of Darkness. That would have been a great storyline. That would have generated interest. That would have kept these guys with a job, but we understand how it goes. Room in the budget. We've got a whole bunch of new NXT people coming up. We've got new signees, international guys that are going to debut or whatnot. So, hey, I get the business, but for the sake of the fanship, that would have cooked.
I agree with you, but in their defense, they kind of did. When they had AOP and him and Scarlett all together in their own faction with the Last Testament.
We're not going to talk about the authors of crap. We're not going to do that.
I mean,
all right,
that was
those guys got handed a bad egg. Yeah, but they never belonged with Karrion Kross.
No,
never.
I think Karrion would have served better as a member of the new Wyatts. I think Karrion and Scarlett would have worked so well, especially since apparently we're never going to see Nikki Cross in a wrestling match ever, which is the wildest thing in the world to me.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Because I just saw her
again. She's
there.
But they haven't used her in anything.
Testing her.
Well, Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt did pitch for him to be kind of, intertwined with the Wyatts before the the unfortunate passing of Bray Wyatt and the reintroduction of Uncle Howdy. That would have been a great storyline as well. But nobody talks about reintroducing a Ministry of Darkness with these broody, gothic, macabre figures that I think really would have worked out. And to have Undertaker as the what was it called back in the day when
not Oracle,
the powers that be or something like that, whatever it was.
Don't count it out. It could still happen.
I hope whoever's listening in WWE, this comes across your algorithm. Jump on that. You ain't even got to give me credit. We'll know. We'll all know. We'll all know. And then I'll run around like, you guys see they take my idea for like 2 days, and then we'll get back to normal.
Exactly. And then the other thing that I had to mention too, since you've already kind of mentioned it in your last thoughts, but this entire rumor that Andrade was sent to AEW by Triple H. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, because there is rumor that Andrade is now back with the company. Is that true? Or do we even know?
Hey, and the Easter Bunny craps chocolate on my pillow every morning. That would be if lies and fantasy were true and rumors. We don't know what's going on. One thing I can really, really put an opinion based on just the information that I'm seeing. It was a failed on both parties, from legal on both aspects. Andrade's lawyer, AEW. Most of these guys always come with a 90-day no-compete clause.
Right.
Everybody, no matter what your situation is, even if you're an announcer. So let's just rule out the fact that, that slipped my mind. I didn't think you would have to. Bro, you failed multiple policy tests. You didn't want to learn English. You didn't want to grow with the company when they had talent development meetings down there at the PLE. They still hold these for senior rostership members. John Cena was just down there giving these guys advice on how to cut promos and presence in the ring and whatnot, and you're not taking advantage of this. So look, whether it was Triple H sending a guy over there to get Edge, whether it was in exchange for Chris Jericho, whatever it may be, we got somebody that's involved in controversy that's distracting from the product and unfortunately robbing us of seeing a great talent. Andrade is a top guy, but it probably just won't ever be in WWE. This is what we have to understand. Anywhere else, this guy can be a contender for any world title in any company, just not WWE, apparently.
I just feel like you could have thrown him down in AAA. You could have done something with him. I mean, again,
feuding with Dominic Mysterio would have revitalized this guy's career, would have been a great look. He could have took that AAA mega champion off of him, and then they could have recycled that thing down there with Vikingo, created feuds. Hey, WWE, if you're listening, hire us. Hire us. Don't chat GPT it. Hire us. We're giving you free game right now from what these thousands and millions of people are viewing every week. And if we can
make the list.
You just made the list.
That's my favorite. Jared.
So if this is really happening, and if this is really a complaint and an issue that everyone seems to have, and Triple H, the writers' room, the upper staff, they have burner accounts. They see, we don't listen to the internet, we don't listen to rumors, but you're reacting to everything everyone is saying. So if somebody's listening somewhere, and if you're smart about it, you might just take a little Salt Bay, let it roll off the elbow of advice and sprinkle it into your Chipotle bowl before you crap all over us every week on television. I'm just saying. We all like the guac. Put a little extra guac on it. We know it costs more. That's why we paying the $30 on ESPN for the app. That's why the $14 price hike on Peacock is nobody's complaining more so about it unless they're not getting a good unless they're getting like a good product, unless you're getting a good pay-per-view. When you don't, you're gonna feel like you're complaining.
Hold on. You just glanced over something I was unaware of. We're going up to $14. Please tell me
just went up. Yeah, it's
going
up.
$14.
Yes, 14.
Okay.
It's if
no,
you
you said $14 price hike, and I'm sitting here thinking, wait, my Peacock is $25 a month now. What the heck?
Well, you must have the premium. Us regular folks like myself, we were on the $10 program, but now we're paying 14.
That's why I was confused, because when you say $14 price hike, I don't think it goes up to $14. I think my thing went up $14, so that's why I had to make sure for my dang self.
Yes, for clarity's sakes, yes.
No, but for devil's advocate's sake here, we're talking about Triple H being okay with sending guys out there to do other things. Like you're just saying, if this whole thing is a karrion cross work and it's the greatest work of all time, why is it so out of thought then that he could have sent Andrade to AEW? That doesn't make sense to me, because if you're saying that he'd be okay with Karrion going to indie places and doing all this as a work, why would he not be the orchestrator? And again, we're talking about the guy who invaded WCW during the WCW Monday Night Wars.
Cerebral assassin.
Why wouldn't he send Andrade to AEW and say, hey, you're going to be off for about 3 months, but go do this for me real quick. When you get back, I promise there'll be something for you.
Look, I will put nothing past Paul F. Your Dreams Levesque. He will, you got a dream? He will be like, oh yeah, F it. All right, cool. You know what? Yeah, okay, yeah. We're going to squash that right here. But hey, like you just made those points on, this guy knows how to provoke interest. He knows how to garner viewership. That's something that he was always better at than Vince, especially him and Sean when they're together and they're putting together product.
That's the other thing too. We are getting that War Games match, right? That is still a thing.
But what is who and what against what? That's the thing. There are so many question marks going into this that I think that's what they purposefully are trying to do.
I know, but did I miss that match? Like, did that match already happen? The Shawn Michaels and Triple H War Games thing on NXT? Did I miss that?
No, we haven't gotten to that, honestly.
So we just kind of ignoring that happening, and then
I think
having the entire face off and saying, oh, what if I want to come back? Like
with the focus of Halloween Havoc that just happened this weekend, which was a good PLE. I honestly feel like with what we're not seeing, is going to affect WWE's main roster. We haven't seen Obafemi. Usually somebody gets a run back. They get a rematch on their title if they're not immediately being called up to the main roster, which we haven't seen. There's been no mention of, so we can possibly expect Oba to debut soon. Probably giving him some time off, a little revamp, a little rest, little, rejuvenation, and reintroducing him to us for those that might not know on the main roster who one of the most dominant NXT champions ever is. Nonetheless, congrats to Ricky Saints down there retaining against Trick Williams, which I thought was a pretty decent match.
Dressed as King Lazarus from 300 too. What the heck was that?
Hey, what was the guy's name? Xerxes?
Xerxes, that's what it was.
Yes. He came out as Xerxes, which I thought was very bizarre, but it got us talking. Hey, you know what? Shout out to Uncle Book. Book is officially, he's no longer Booker T, he's Uncle Book. For if you're anybody that's watching NXT, you know what I'm talking about, and we'll just leave it at that with the okay, I'm sick of hearing them geek and goon in the commentary booth, but it is hilarious. I will give that a sensational, seriously, because it's funny. Now, I'm not saying he's the greatest commentator, but he does keep the show going with the vulgarity and the surprises and the stuff that comes out of his mouth. Booker T is officially Unk, but
unpopular opinion, though, I'd say you could probably put Booker T and Jesse the Body in the same category. I don't think I need to hear y'all on a mic anymore.
Woo! Hey, if you put both of them on, I think I would watch it just to see what kind of crazy crap comes out of their neck. That right there
That's
is
fair.
put
That's
a
fair. That'd be
colostomy
it.
bag on his mouth, bro, because he is spewing nothing. But you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No,
Moving on.
I'm over it. Yeah. But anyways, sorry.
What was your thoughts with Jade returning?
Honestly, I think that it's going to shake up our women's division how we need and set up the return of either a Bianca Belair, which we need to see the Bianca versus Jade match. You know, Bianca
Oh,
got
that's
hurt.
funny.
She's had an injury. I don't think they've ever given up on that. They just kind of redirected. I think Bianca being reintroduced to that really will give people a satisfactory moment in the match that we didn't get because of injury, because of whatever happened. But this sets up Jade taking a title off of Tiffy, which Tiffy deserves some rest. She's gone through everybody in the division on SmackDown as far as the women's division. Let her heal up, rejuvenate, reintroduce some more people, have her chase the title or whatnot, go full heel, whatever they need to do. But I think it's a good look, and it sets up for what Saturday appears to be. We're going to have possibly more than one new champion. We're looking at Drew, which I think it's finally time to take the belt off of Cody. And he gets his just due right there. You know what I mean? Not with the world champion, but with the undisputed, the real WWE World Championship belt. And we see CM Punk take that world title, which would be a good look once again. And Jade take that women's world title. We're looking at a possibility of a whole new championship roster after Saturday.
Which is wild to say because I don't remember the last time they've done a shakeup like that and had
It's needed.
everybody up in the air.
Well, I asked that just to keep it in the women's division because what they're cooking with Raquel and Stephanie Vaquer, how do you think I see they're going to get some type of Liv Morgan involved with this?
Can we just mush Nikki Bella out of that too?
Yes, please.
When she just walked up and tried to get in the, I was like, woman, go away.
Yeah, get out of here.
Go away. You're just like, you know what it is? It's the jealous aunt that can't get over that her niece just had a baby and got married and is having all this crazy stuff happen, and she can't let it go. She can't let it go. She's got to be at the epicenter of all of it, and it bugs me. It bugs me.
I feel for the lady, but not sorry. The empathy that I have is from an athletic standpoint of wanting to go out on your shield how you want to. And currently what WWE is giving her is the best of where they can fit her in. That's another issue that I think the Total Divas Network would love to discuss and digest. Maybe Nikki Bella can get a booking on Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Round Table show and talk about her feelings.
The best she's gonna find.
But I need her to just wrestle. Like, just wrestle, get your flowers. You're already in the Hall of Fame. So this run that you're on really is just useless in taking up TV time and a spot for someone else that really deserves to be there. So what can I say more so than that? Like you just said, the whole jealous aunt feel and vibe of interrupting a flow of a match. I think Raquel Gonzalez and Rodriguez, both of those girls, Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez, excuse me. Those matches with Stephanie Vaquer are money on the table right there. You know, Roxanne, she's super talented, super over, still super young, but very experienced. She's going to have a great couple of matches with Stephanie. Now, her heavy, the other one in Judgment Day, lately, since she's taken advice from Kevin Nash, has been working a bigger style of a heel, which the Big Daddy Cool moves work great for her. And I don't think we're going to see any bad matches between those three. But the introduction of Nikki Bella, come on, man. We already know Liv is slated to return. She's going to pop up. This is going to be an issue where we get Dominic possibly being outed from Judgment Day. And the Roxanne Perez feud with her. Hey, Dom is stacking up quite a roster, not just titles with belts, but, with the ladies, man. He's a ladies, man. The little slime ball that he is on television works out quite well for viewership interest.
Absolutely. It absolutely does. And I can't wait to see what happens next. But, sir, we have run out of time. We got to get to a break because we're talking Breeders' Cup on the other side with our guy from FanDuel TV. Thank you so much for your time, and we will talk.
No doubt. Most definitely. I just got a shout out. Congratulations to Sparky, the the Money Wise team this past weekend with the grand opening of the last Woolworths in the world right here in Kern County, Bakersfield,
Much
California.
appreciated, and it was great to see you. But I know also before we go, you've got a blood drive coming up
Oh, that's right.
Thursday.
Yes, yes, yes. We'll be out there most definitely at Houchin Blood Bank. You guys go and show your support. It's for a good cause. And, you know, hey, plasma for everybody that's in need. Blood drives are essential in the community. And hey, if you don't catch us, still go out there and volunteer. Go out there, have a snack, show some support, hang out with people who are volunteering and donating blood. It's going to be a blast. So, you guys, most definitely, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe, like, and stay notified with the early bird special right here at 101.1 FM ESPN Bakersfield.
Thank you, my friend. We got to take a break, pay some bills. This is the early bird special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m., as well as streaming video every single day from 7 to 9 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can join us, follow, like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. It's the Breeder Cup this weekend, and I know we got a lot of horse racing fans here in Bakersfield. We got some families out here who actually breed some of the horses. You've heard from the Hronis family in the past, but we had to reach out to somebody who knows way more about this than both of us. So FanDuel has been fantastic with us and helped us out with our guy here next is Joaquin Jaime. Am I saying the last name correctly? Uh-oh. I'm not hearing you, my friend. Can you check your settings for me and see if the microphone is set up real quick? It's a tricky situation. I apologize. This thing is so touchy. And you probably actually heard on the stream too. We just can't hear you on our side. But with Breeder Cup right around the corner, I know a lot of you guys are horse racing fans. Go down to Firehouse. That's probably the only spot I know of that is a horse racing situation, or at least for betting purposes.
I was going to say, aside from prop bets, it's the only place in California you can bet.
Right. I mean, at this point, and again, I know how California can get with a lot of these sports betting situations. It's kind of tricky. I realize that. But at the end of the day, it is still just fun to watch for me, at least. I don't even need to know the horses' names. I just go out there, and I don't know about you guys, but I kind of just pick which one's my favorite, which one looks the best to me, which one has the best overall jib.
And see, I'm on the opposite. I go by the names.
Do you really? Do you just pick a name and just say, you know what, that guy looks good?
I know nothing about it, so I just go by the names.
Funny. It looks like Jaime had to step out real quick just to reload his system. This thing is so touchy sometimes. We have to apologize. I'm not sure if you guys could hear him on the stream, but we got nothing on the radio side. And unfortunately for us, that's kind of where the majority of the show does take place, is on the radio side of things. Till he jumps back in here, or potentially maybe just calls us, because I do know he has the call-in line as well. Oh, looks like we got him. We will have plenty to talk about here as well afterwards. Jaime, or Joaquin, can you hear me?
Yeah, technical.
There he is.
Okay.
There
Oh
he is.
Very good. Sorry about that.
My apologies, guys. I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry about that.
You're good. It's not your fault. Trust me, it happens with everybody. It's just our system. This system that we use, it works for us at points. It doesn't. But thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And thank you to FanDuel for helping us out as well. For our listeners who don't know about the Breeder Cup, don't know much about horse racing, I know you are very, very well in tune in this entire thing. So let them know, what is the Breeder Cup? How big is this event compared to maybe the ones they have heard, like the Kentucky Derby? I know that one's a little bit easier for people to understand, but where does the Breeder Cup kind of line up with all of those?
So the Breeders' Cup started in 1984, and the reason it started was to have a championship at the end of the year. So it would be our Super Bowl, our World Series, NBA Finals. It's our year-end championships in the sport of horse racing. As it's evolved, it's not even a World Series or a Super Bowl now. This is turned into an Olympics because it is so global. Now you have the best horses, best jockeys, best trainers in America, even North America. Canada is going to be heavily involved now too, with a lot of horses coming in from Toronto at Woodbine. But England, Ireland, Japan, Australia, Hong Kong at times. I mean, this has turned into a global event for the Breeders' Cup. And they have a ton of success when they come here for the Breeders' Cup as well in November.
So we're seeing kind of a European takeover of horse racing as well, kind of like the NBA?
In grass races, yes. The Europeans, it's heavily tilted towards grass races and their success. Sure, they've won some dirt races in the past as well. But, you know, that makes sense. They race on the turf over there. They come here with their top horses. And honestly, even their B and C horses at times have come over here and kicked our butts on the turf in the Breeders' Cup races. So yeah, it's turned into a massive global event, just how it has evolved over the years for the Breeders' Cup. It's different from the Kentucky Derby in the way that for the Kentucky Derby, these horses, they get one shot at it. They're a 3-year-old. You get one shot on the first Saturday in May. If you're not ready on the first Saturday in May, you missed your opportunity. You'll never get that opportunity to run in it again. Wow. The Breeders' Cup brings 14 races together, 14 different divisions. That is the main difference between the Kentucky Derby and the Breeders' Cup, where it's only 3-year-olds, one race in the Derby, 1.25 miles, which is the same distance as the Breeders' Cup Classic that we have, versus the Breeders' Cup, where you have 14 different races spread out over 2 days.
Well, as you brought up the Classic, I mean, what storylines or horses are you most excited about going into this weekend?
I would say the biggest storyline going into the Breeders' Cup Classic this year is just the overall depth of it. Going back to the Kentucky Derby a year ago in 2024, you have your second and third place finisher from the Kentucky Derby from 2024 in the Classic. This year's Kentucky Derby, you have your top three in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sovereignty, the winner. Journalism, the second place finisher. Baeza, the third place finisher. They are there. Now go back to the Breeders' Cup Classic a year ago. The top three finishers in the Breeders' Cup Classic are running in here again. It was won by Sierra Leone. The second place finisher was Fierceness. And the third place finisher, he's from Japan. He's one of the best horses anywhere in the globe. His name is Forever Young. He finished third in the Classic last year. He is back. We've had high profile horses run in the Breeders' Cup Classic in the past. Flightline a couple years ago. You guys know American Pharaoh, who won the Triple Crown in 2015. That's just one name. It's the depth that makes it this year from top to bottom that makes this Classic so compelling.
So talk about that and like the short lifespans that we really see from these horses. Because I mean, one year you could see Journalism tear it up, obviously, and the next they're gone. And a lot of people just wonder, oh, what happened to that horse? I mean, this is a very short-lived time frame for a lot of these horses to even compete in these things, right?
Yeah, I mean, times have just changed, and the bottom line of this is that it's a business too, and these horses are worth a lot of money, especially the elite players in the game, the ones that are having the most success and win the biggest races and the most prestigious races. Well, they're going to be able to go off to stud and command a lot of money in the breeding shed. That's the business side of it. And sometimes, maybe not even sometimes, the majority of the time for these horses, they're going to be making more money in the breeding shed than they are going to be able to make on the racetrack. And that's just the business side of things. So, this year, at least in the Breeders' Cup Classic, Fierceness, who's going to be one of the top choices, he's a 4-year-old. This will be his final race before he stands at Coolmore America Ashford Stud in Kentucky. Sierra Leone, the Breeders' Cup Classic from last year, he's competing against Fierceness. They're actually going to the same farm. They're going to stand at Coolmore in Kentucky together. And even Journalism, it hasn't been announced just yet if he's going to. Journalism's a 3-year-old who ran second in the Derby this year. He's going to Coolmore in Kentucky to stand there as well with Fierceness and also with Sierra Leone. It hasn't been announced if he's going to be retired after this race or if he's going to come back and race at age 4. So it just depends horse to horse. But yeah, it's just how it is now. It's part of the business, and they go off to the breeding shed for the top players.
I mean, long be it from the days of Seabiscuit and all those, but I mean, it's just baffling to me because one year you could go in, win a whole bunch of money on Journalism, and then everybody sits there and says, oh, I missed that guy. Where the heck is that horse now? And then you hear, oh yeah, that horse, and that horse are all its, baby, and are all running against each other now. So it's an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's certainly part of the conversation for us in the sport of thoroughbred horse racing, where we say, it's really tough to generate fan base when these horses are on the racetrack for 12 months. And it actually turns out to be even shorter than that, because a horse like Journalism, let's see, where are my past performances? A horse like Journalism, I think he's run 7 times this year. 7 times this year, he's earned $3.8 million on the racetrack. This day and age, I mean, that's a hell of a campaign. I mean, 7 races is one of the longer campaigns for a 3-year-old and a horse in the racing season. So yeah, he's been around all year long, but you think, okay, they're just running for 12 months out of the year. Well, it's actually sometimes less than that. Journalism is, up there with 7 starts. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 3. So it's a part of the conversation in our sport of, man, this is really tough to generate a fan base when these horses race for 1 year to 2 years tops, and they only run 4 to 5 times out of that year. So that was the great thing, especially this year, to have the top horses at age 3 come back and run at age 4. A horse like Fierceness and a horse like Sierra Leone, for example.
And what makes these horses so good? Because I know everybody talks about Journalism as being a better clay runner than they are a grass runner. Like, what part of the training makes it different for them? Like, to actually get ready for some of these?
Well, I mean, I think it's just athlete to athlete and horse to horse, right? I mean,
kind of like a tennis player, just sometimes you play better on clay, sometimes you don't. That kind of a thing.
Yeah, and breeding has a big part to do with it. A horse like Journalism, for example, his sire is Curlin. Curlin was a Breeders' Cup Classic winner as well. He won the same race that journalism is trying to win on November 1st. He won it back in 2007. He
Mhm.
won the middle jewel of racing's Triple Crown in the Preakness Stakes that year as well in 2007. And Curlin, was a Breeders' Cup Classic winner, but he was a dirt horse. So
Mhm.
it just makes sense that he was a dirt horse. His mother was a dirt horse as well. So breeding has a major factor to do with it.
Gotcha.
Is this horse going to run on the grass, or is this horse going to run on the dirt?
Fantastic. Well, one last question for you, my friend. Obviously, you've helped us out with this because you know much more about it than I. Like we said, we've had the Hronis family in here before, and they've
Oh, I
walked
love
us through
Costa.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's fantastic. Nick,
Costa and Stephanie are great, and they're Central Valley people. I am too. I grew up in
are you
Fresno.
really? Oh, that's right. I read in your bio you're a Fresno boy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm a Valley man. Graduated from San Joaquin Memorial High School. I had plenty of games against
Oh, don't tell
Garces.
me that.
I
I am a
lost to
Garces boy. Believe it or not,
Oh
I'm a
man,
Garces
I
boy, so
lost to
that's funny.
Garces in the championship. Let's see, my junior year in high school. Then we came back and beat Garces my senior year in high school in soccer. So yeah, all my family's still there, man. Central Valley's home, Fresno's home for me. But yeah, Costa and Stephanie, they are some of the nicest, most respected people
Oh yeah.
that we have in the thoroughbred industry. They have a couple Breeders' Cup horses as well. A horse by the name of Full Serrano, who won the Breeders'
Mhm.
Cup Dirt Mile last year. He'll be in the race again this year. Very good chance to repeat in that race. And then they have a 2-year-old by the name of Hey Nene, who is undefeated, a perfect 3 for 3 that is on the rise and coming up. So the Hronis family, they got some good shots in the Breeders' Cup this year.
I'm gonna have to get them back in here to talk about those two horses. But we already got into it a little bit about you, but let everybody know about yourself, Mr. Jaime, and how they could watch you during the Breeder Cup this weekend.
Yeah, so we're on FanDuel TV. We got breakfast at the Breeders' Cup right behind me. That is essentially like Good Morning America for horse racing. It's a 3-hour show. We take you behind the scenes and take a look at all these athletes as they're preparing for their Breeders' Cup races. I mean, this would be like going to Dodger Stadium and looking at Shohei and Mookie and Freddie warm up and practice. This is their practice that's going on behind me. And we're showing you how they are coming into their respective Breeders' Cup races. That show, Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup, 7 to 10 a.m. Pacific time on FanDuel TV. For the first time this year, all 14 Breeders' Cup races will be shown live on FanDuel TV. So you will
Nice.
not have to change the channel at all. It starts on Friday, Halloween, October 31st for Feature Stars Friday. That's all the 2-year-olds, the up-and-comers in our sport. And then on November 1st, Championship Saturday, 9 Breeders' Cup races there. Watch all of them live on FanDuel TV. They're fun just to watch them run in circles, but it's more fun to even wager on them. It's more fun to bet on them. And you can do that through the FanDuel Racing app as well.
Fantastic. Well, sir, thank you so much for your time. If we ever have any more races, we'd love to have you back on, and we'd love to talk to you at any point in time, man. Thank you.
Anytime. I'm willing to come on your show anytime, guys. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the Breeders' Cup.
Fantastic. And how are you feeling after that 18-inning Dodger win last night? I mean, we've been talking about it all morning. So
Oh my God. My wife like went to bed in like the 13th inning. She's like, I can't do it anymore.
that's
You
what I
know,
said. I was like, I was about
unbelievable. I
to
mean,
pass out at
Freddie's gonna have a
10:30.
statue out at Dodger Stadium at some point with what he did with the Padres and then the walk-off yesterday in the 18th inning. That was a giant win, and I guess we'll just see if Shohei
Here,
was scheduled to pitch today. Let's see if he
yes.
actually goes through with that now. I'm not sure.
I think he's the only arm you got left
I was
after
gonna
that game
say.
last
All
night.
right, I'm gonna
At
start
this
warming
point,
up. Let's go.
no kidding. And then you're gonna have to be fighting for that statue with the Braves too, because I don't think they're gonna let you have Freddie after this.
Yeah,
Sir,
right.
thank you so much
Very
for
good
your
point.
time. We really appreciate it. We will talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me. Have a good one.
Thank you. We got to take a break real quick, pay some bills. This is the Early Bird Special on ESPN Bakersfield. be worried.
Just look both sides.
Okay, nothing looks creepy.
Are you sure?
No. No, the lights aren't flickering. We're fine there. No.
There's no lamp.
There's no lamp with faces on it. No. There's no flying baby with 2 heads.
Where with liver in it?
Where? Okay, no stuff there. Okay, good. I don't know about y'all, but if y'all have been watching this Welcome to Dairy series, or at least the first episode that was dropped on HBO, first off, if you're an It fan at all, Stephen King fan at all, watch
Just
this.
clowns like me.
Oh my god! And again, it's all coming together. We don't have enough time to get into anything anyway. Let's just talk about this at this point. Got Dodger fans already walking by.
Gosh.
Back to Welcome to Dairy. If you are a horror fan at all, obviously it's spooky season. Highly recommend this series. Episode 2 will be coming out on Halloween, if I'm not mistaken. It is a new series that has been dropped by HBO that is centered around the 1960s, right before the events of the book and the movie. So I am assuming that this series will continuously go back in time to each major instance in which Pennywise pops up in Derry and starts snatching kids. And man, I won't spoil anything for you outside of what we've already kind of told you, but the ending of this episode was one of the most wild things I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot. I've seen every Terrifier movie. I've seen the Human Centipede movies, all 3 of them.
It's much needed because a lot of the horror, scary movies
They
that
don't
we've
do this
seen,
anymore.
they don't do as much, or the writing isn't as good. So I was a little nervous on the fence, and when me and my wife saw the trailer, we're like, we got to watch that.
You brought up a great point. The casting
is correct.
is right out of the park. I love it. Like, the kids are fantastic. I mean, the older brother who's just giving grief to the main character the whole time, saying, I can't believe we're related. How are you scared of all this? Eventually, that's going to come into play, too. Either he's going to get the scaring of a lifetime, or Big Brother's going to be the reason they all get out of it. I don't know how this is going to work out, but it's going to be something crazy. You need to go watch this show, though. It is so good. So good. And again, it just, if you're a Stephen King fan in general, you will enjoy this. Although I did steer away from The Long Walk.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I almost turned off HBO Max because after Peacemaker, and my wife's like, "Thank God you didn't," because now we've got a whole show to watch as a family again.
I'm telling you, dude, HBO is slinging it with these shows. As if we're surprised. It's HBO. They gave us every major television show. Sopranos. You got House of Dragons plus
Eastbound and Down.
All the. Game of Thrones.
Righteous Gemstones.
HBO is a home run every single time. But yes, go check out Welcome to Dairy. It's fantastic. And don't ruin it for yourself on TikTok like I did. It's so much better to watch it alone. We got to get out of here for the great Rich Eisen. Join us back here tomorrow, 7 to 9. Sparky, let's get out of here.